When people ask, what are the benefits of personal branding? What they're really asking is, why would I go through the effort to build a personal brand in the first place? Or what is the actual outcome of turning my expertise into thought leadership or even into category dominance? Because most of the answers you'll find online are wrong. They tell you things like you build awareness, you grow your audience, you showcase your personality, but none of those are real benefits. Those are surface level byproducts that don't actually change your position in the market. The real benefit of personal branding, when it's done correctly, is that you become the go-to authority in your space. You're not just known, you're known by the right people for the right problem at the right time. And everything else comes from that. Now the question is, how does that actually happen? That's what you'll learn in this episode, so let's dive right in. Let's start off by discussing what is not a personal brand. Personal branding is not you telling people that you're the expert. If you have to say it, then it's already weak. They should have to conclude that on their own by experiencing your content. Personal branding is not your logo, colors, or your website. Those things are wonderful and important, but many people think that your logo, your style, and imagery define your personal brand. The truth is, it's possible to have a very strong personal brand even before thinking about the logo and things. Personal branding is not a short about me video. In fact, personal branding is not about me. It's not about you at all. Personal branding is 100% focused on the viewer who then sees you as the person who can help them. So to take that one step further, personal branding is not a promotional video at all. It's not you talking about your services you offer or why someone should choose you. Your story doesn't build authority when someone's actively trying to solve a problem. Next, personal branding is not built by posting consistently on social media. Consistency without positioning just creates more noise. Next, personal branding is not going viral. In fact, going viral can derail the personal brand that you're trying to establish, and it can hurt the audience that you're trying to curate and protect. Most certainly, personal branding is not repeating what already exists. Regurgitated content doesn't position you, it blends you in. Personal branding is not built through paid ads or cold outreach. Now there's a place for ads, but they actually work against personal branding because they interrupt, they annoy, and they cause people to put their defenses up against you. Now, personal branding actually does something incredible. It positions you in front of the right people at the right time, and it builds relationships of trust with your dream clients who see you as the exact solution to their problem. Let that sink in. Attracting your dream clients right when they're looking for help and being entrusted to provide the solution. Let's take a closer look at some of the important benefits of personal branding. When someone finds you in that moment, when they're stuck, when they're searching, when they need clarity, and you are the person that ends up giving it to them, they don't need to be convinced that you're the expert. They tell themselves that, and that's where the first real benefit shows up. It's trust. Not forced trust, not borrowed authority, but earned trust because you demonstrated value before asking for anything. Think about that in comparison to a paid ad campaign or a cold outreach messaging campaign. With those, you interrupt people, you annoy them, and they put up their defenses. You have to expend a lot of energy to overcome that. So to have the opposite of that happen is quite remarkable. This directly leads into the second benefit, which is the quality of your leads. You're no longer chasing people. You're no longer trying to generate interest and convince them. The people coming to you are inbound and they're referral quality. They already trust you. They already believe that you can help them. And in many cases, they've already decided that they want to work with you before the conversation even starts. Imagine if every discovery call you did was with people who already trusted you and wanted your help. It completely changes the sales process. You're not overcoming objections. You're not breaking down skepticism. You're not trying to get someone to lower their guard because there is no guard. That relationship was already built before they ever spoke to you. Think about how this changes your work experience during a week. Instead of a constant battle of stress and uncertainty, now you have clarity and a calmness that comes with having more leads than you can handle. Now, you should be experiencing a major paradigm shift in the way that you're thinking about personal branding now. Most people focus on the visual elements which don't create these outcomes. You can have a great looking brand and still be completely invisible. You can have a beautiful website and the only person who sees it is your mom. The benefits we're talking about don't come from how your brand looks, they come from where you're positioned and how you're discovered. Imagine jumping on Zoom with someone for the first time, and the first thing they say is that they've watched a ton of your videos or they've read your book. It's a huge relief to know you don't have to start from the beginning. You can actually find out about them, their goals, their challenges, and what they hope that you can help them with. Now, this is where leverage also starts to show up, because once you're seen as the go-to authority, even your competitors recognize it. You start getting more opportunities. You start getting more leads than you can handle. You can raise your prices. You can choose who you work with. You get to filter for your ideal clients instead of taking whatever comes in. And doors start opening that wouldn't normally have been available to you because of how you're positioned. None of this happens if you try to be everything to everyone. You don't build a personal brand by being a generalist. You build it by owning a category. So this is where my tree analogy comes in. Your industry is the trunk. The categories in your industry are the branches. And the questions people ask in those categories are the leaves. So your personal brand is built when you choose a specific branch and become known for it. You're not targeting everyone, but the people who actually need you. Now, this is actually the part where most people hesitate because they think that by narrowing it down, they're going to lose out on opportunities. They don't want to turn people away. They think that they're shrinking their market, but the reality is the opposite. When you stay broad, you don't get more opportunities, you get less, because you're not clearly associated with anything specific. You're just another option in a crowded industry. So when you narrow down to a specific category, you're no longer competing with everyone. You're competing with a defined space that you can actually dominate. And more importantly, you become known for something. When someone has a specific problem, your name is directly tied to the problem. You don't need to convince them. You don't need to explain why you're qualified. They've already made that connection. So instead of turning people away or thinking that you're working with less, you start attracting more of the right people. Your dream clients who need exactly what you do. They value your expertise, they're ready to move forward, and yes, there may be people outside of that category that you don't serve directly, but that's not a loss. That's what allows you to build a real position. A personal brand is not built on being available to everyone. It's built on being known by the right people. And when you do that, you stop delaying the results, you stop blending in, and you start building something that actually compounds. Now every piece of content reinforces your position within that category instead of diluting it. Now, one of the biggest misconceptions about this is the timeline. People assume that building a personal brand like this will take years. And it can if you're doing it the wrong way, but if you already have expertise, if you already have the experience and the track record, and what you're missing is visibility, you can build category dominance much faster than people think. We're not talking about years. We're talking about months. And if you follow my leaf strategy without distraction, within a few months, you'll be able to start replacing those things that most businesses rely on. You don't need cold outreach. You don't need low quality leads from paid ads. You don't have to worry about being unknown or becoming irrelevant. Your personal branding content will consistently work for you, introducing you to the right people and building trust. So when we ask, what are the benefits of personal branding? It's not views, it's not followers, it's not likes. It's the right positioning, it's trust, it's inbound, high quality opportunities, and ultimately it's becoming the person that people think of when they need the solution that you provide. So once you understand that, the way that you approach your content, your marketing, and your entire brand starts to change. If you want to see what this actually looks like in practice, then watch the episode Achieve Category Dominance. In that episode, I walk through real case studies and examples so that you can see exactly what's possible and what it looks like when it's executed correctly. So I'll see you there.